When I think of transformative changes, I always go back to the moment when a simple decision shaped my future. At the age of 12, waking up before sunrise to practice English with tourists in Hangzhou may seem trivial, but for me, it was the starting point. Imagine an ordinary boy with no financial resources, but an uncontrollable hunger to learn something new. Day after day, for 9 years, I offered free tours of the West Lake, exchanging stories, smiles, and lessons. It wasn't just English I learned, it was the ability to understand the world, people, and cultures. I discovered that the limits are not out there, but within us. I didn't just learn a language, I learned how to think differently. I learned that the world is much bigger than I imagined. These words are not just about me, but about anyone who decides to take a small step into the unknown. The fascinating thing is that we never know how a seemingly small choice can trigger big changes. Maybe you're just one decision away from your own revolution. And you know what the beauty of that is? Simple decisions don't require extraordinary resources, just courage. No matter where you come from or what you have at hand, there is always something that can be done today. While I was guiding those tourists, something changed in me. I began to see possibilities where before I saw barriers. The conversations taught me that the world is full of perspectives and that, in order to achieve them, it all starts with a simple question. What if I try? If not now, when? If not you, who? These words have echoed in my mind ever since. It's easy to put off our dreams, waiting for the perfect moment or ideal conditions. But let me tell you a secret. The perfect moment never comes. The present is all we have, and it is in the present that we must act. Just like that morning when I decided to leave the house, perhaps the next big step in your life is hidden in a choice you can make right now. So I want you to reflect, what is within your reach today? No matter how small it may seem, it could be the first step towards something extraordinary. Perhaps like me, you only need one simple act to completely transform the way you see the world. After all, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. But here's a thought. Is it the step or the decision to start that really makes all the difference? There's something powerful about understanding that our lives can change completely with a single decision. I always say that we are all one decision away from a completely different life. That's not just a phrase, but a truth I've experienced countless times. When I started Alibaba, I didn't have any money, experience, or technology, but I had something that no one could take away from me: the determination to try. I decided to bring together people who believed in the same vision, and together, we created something much bigger than we imagined. Hesitation is the greatest enemy of progress. We all face that moment of doubt where we think, what if it goes wrong? The reality, however, is that we will never know the outcome until we decide to act. I often compare it to taking the first step on an unknown path. You don't need to see the full destination, just trust in the next step. Every little action we take, however small it may seem, is a brick in the construction of something great. Of course, making decisions doesn't mean freedom from fear. Fear will always be there, trying to hold us back. But let me share something. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the decision to go ahead in spite of it. I was afraid of failing when I started out. However, I've learned that failure is just a lesson. It pushes us to find better paths and makes us more resilient. The important thing is never to let fear silence your will to act. If not now, when? If not me, who? These words have guided many of my choices. What I realize is that the difference between success and stagnation is not skill or luck, but action. There are people with more resources and knowledge who hesitate, while others with less achieve great things because they have decided to act. What defines your destiny is not what you have, but what you do with what you have. The future you want is within your reach, but only if you start now. It's not about waiting for great external changes. It's about recognizing the power that is already within you. Every step counts. Every decision matters. Destiny is built not just by what we dream, but by what we choose to do every day. When I think of how simple choices can transform lives, the story of Forrest Gump is a shining example. Imagine a man who, even after losing a dear friend in the war, decides to honor a promise made from the heart. Forrest chose to invest everything he had in a shrimp boat, not out of strategy or ambition, but because he believed it was the right thing to do to help the family of his friend, Bubba. This decision, guided by authenticity and purpose, ended up changing his life in ways he could never have predicted. At first, everything seemed uncertain. He faced difficulties, adversity, and failure, but he didn't give up. Whether by chance or fate, Forrest had the persistence to keep going, even when others would give up. When a devastating storm hit the region, his boat was the only one that remained functional. The result? He turned a simple act of loyalty into a thriving shrimp fishing business and became a millionaire. This story reminds us that choices made with heart can bring rewards beyond imagination. Forrest's act illustrates how the simplicity of a decision can trigger extraordinary changes. He wasn't seeking wealth or recognition, but followed a greater purpose, and this ended up having a profound impact not only on his life, but on other people's as well. The same goes for all of us. When we choose to act with authenticity, we are planting seeds that can blossom in unexpected ways. Forrest's story also highlights something we often forget. The impact of our actions is not just in the results, but in the meaning behind them. His determination to honor a promise showed that sometimes success is a natural consequence of doing the right thing. It's something I constantly apply in my life. When I started Alibaba, my goal wasn't immediate profit, but to create opportunities for small entrepreneurs. Success was just a consequence of acting with a greater purpose. Forrest Gump teaches us that we don't need to have a perfect plan to change our lives. The important thing is to act with intention and persistence, even if the path seems uncertain. The future rewards those who have the courage to take the first step, trusting that their choices, guided by authentic values, will lead them to something great. I've always believed that movement is life. If you stay still, like stagnant water, you start to lose your purpose. But when you move, even just a little, the world around you starts to change. When I was building Alibaba, we didn't have a clear path. We had no money, no resources, and no idea if we would succeed. But we kept moving. We pushed forward, no matter how uncertain things felt. You see, when you move, opportunities appear. I've learned that you don't need to see the entire road ahead. It's like driving at night. The headlights only show a few meters, but it's enough to keep going. With each step, more of the road reveals itself. That's how life works. Clarity doesn't come before action, it comes because of it. There were days when nothing seemed to go right. Competitors doubted us, the market didn't believe in us, and sometimes even our own team had fears. But I told them, we're like a river. We will keep flowing, carving our way through rocks and mountains. We may be small now, but with motion, we can shape the world. The truth is, movement builds momentum. Each time you take a step, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that you're capable of more. That confidence grows with every action. It's like water transforming into steam. It only takes one extra degree to make the difference. And that's what I want you to remember. The difference between staying where you are and reaching your goals is that 1 degree of effort. Life isn't about waiting for the perfect conditions. It's about creating them as you move forward. The most successful people I know didn't wait for opportunities. They created them by staying in motion. And you can do the same. Your greatest obstacle isn't out there, it's in here. Your mind can be your biggest ally or your toughest enemy. I've failed so many times in my life. I failed university entrance exams 3 times. I was rejected from 30 jobs, even from KFC. People laughed at me, doubted me, and told me I wasn't good enough. For a long time, I believed them. But then I realized something. Those thoughts weren't facts. They were just stories I was telling myself. Every negative thought I had was like a brick, building a wall around me. I was creating my own prison, and if I didn't stop, I would be trapped forever. That's when I decided to break free. I started questioning every doubt I had. Why not me? Why can't I do this? I began replacing those negative thoughts with new ones, just like updating old software on a computer. I told myself, if not now, when? If not me, who? Slowly, the walls of my mental prison began to fall. You have the key to your own freedom. The limits you believe in are not real. They're just fears dressed up as facts. Every time you challenge a negative thought, you take a brick out of that wall. And when you start to act despite those doubts, you realize how much power you truly have. Your mind can be the most powerful tool in the world if you use it wisely. So don't let it hold you back. Start questioning those walls, and you'll see that they're not as strong as you think. I used to think that I needed to be ready before I started anything, but let me tell you something. If you wait to be ready, you'll be waiting forever. There is no perfect moment. The perfect moment is the one you have right now. When we launched Alibaba, we weren't ready. We had no money, no experience, and no technology. But we had belief. We believed that the world needed a platform for small businesses, and we were determined to create it. That belief was enough to get us started. Acting in the present isn't about being fearless. I was terrified when I pitched Alibaba to investors for the first time. But I realized that fear isn't the enemy, inaction is. When you take that first step, even with fear in your heart, you discover strength you didn't know you had. The present moment is a gift. It's the only time you can act. You can't change the past, and the future isn't guaranteed. But what you do right now has the power to shape everything. When you embrace the moment, you create possibilities that didn't exist before. So stop waiting. Don't wait for the fear to go away, for the conditions to be perfect, or for someone to give you permission. The time to act is now, and the best opportunity you have is the one in front of you. Many people think confidence comes before action, but that's not true. Confidence is built by action. When I was young, I had very little confidence. I failed so many times that it would have been easy to give up. But every time I took a step forward, I felt a little stronger. Action is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. The first steps are always the hardest, but they're also the most important. When I started Alibaba, I didn't know how to lead a team. I made mistakes. But with every decision I made, I learned something new. That's how confidence grows. It's not given to you. It's earned through experience. Each small victory builds momentum. When you take action, you prove to yourself that you're capable. That proof becomes the foundation of your belief in yourself. And once you start believing, there's no limit to what you can achieve. If you're waiting to feel confident before you start, you're doing it backward. Confidence doesn't come from sitting still. It comes from moving forward. The act of trying, of putting yourself out there, is what creates the strength you need. What are you waiting for? Take the first step. You don't need to have all the answers or all the skills. Just start, and the confidence will follow. One thing I've learned is that inaction is more expensive than failure. Every moment you hesitate, every day you wait, you lose something you can never get back. Time. Time is the most valuable resource you have, and yet so many people waste it waiting for the perfect moment or fearing the possibility of failure. When we started Alibaba, there were so many reasons not to move forward. We lacked funding, resources, and support, but I knew that waiting would cost us more than trying and failing. Regret, I realized, is far heavier than failure. Failure teaches you something. Regret only leaves you wondering what could have been. Inaction doesn't just cost you opportunities, it takes a toll on your spirit. When you delay chasing your dreams, doubts creep in. You begin to question whether you're capable, and over time, those questions become a belief. Taking action, even if it's a small step, interrupts that cycle. It reminds you of your power to create change. The price of procrastination grows with time. It's like a debt with interest. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to move forward. I've seen talented people miss out on incredible opportunities, not because they weren't good enough, but because they hesitated. Don't let that happen to you. You don't have to take a giant leap. Just take one step. Break free from the trap of inaction, and you'll see how quickly momentum builds. The cost of waiting is too high, and the rewards of action are greater than you can imagine. One of the most powerful tools you have is your imagination. I've always been a dreamer, and that's where everything starts. Before Alibaba was a company, it was just an idea in my mind. I imagined a world where small businesses could compete globally, where technology could level the playing field. That vision was what kept me going, even when the odds were against us. Imagination is like a map. It helps you see beyond your current circumstances and into what's possible. When I was young, I practiced English with tourists every morning. I wasn't just learning words. I was imagining myself as someone who could connect with the world. That vision shaped who I became. Your imagination can either build you up or tear you down. If you spend your time imagining worst-case scenarios, you'll paralyze yourself with fear. But if you use your imagination to visualize success, you'll find the courage to move forward. I like to say, visualize yourself free. Imagine the person you want to become and take actions that align with that vision. Imagination isn't about fantasy. It's about creating a clear picture of your future and taking steps to make it real. When we were building Alibaba, I imagined it as the largest marketplace in the world. At the time, it seemed impossible. But that vision gave us dream big. Let your imagination guide you, and then take the actions necessary to bring those dreams to life. The future starts in your mind. I like to think of the mind as a computer. Sometimes it runs perfectly, helping you achieve amazing things. But other times it gets stuck with old, faulty software, negative thoughts, doubts, and fears. If you want to succeed, you have to update your mental code. When I was rejected by dozens of companies, including KFC, I could have easily given up. The thought, maybe I'm not good enough, started to creep in. But then I realized those thoughts weren't facts, they were just bad programming. I began to question them. Why wasn't I good enough? Who decided that? Once I started rewriting those thoughts, everything began to change. Updating your mindset is like fixing a bug in software. Every time you replace a negative belief with a positive one, you improve your performance. Instead of telling myself, I'm not good at this, I started saying, I'll get better with practice. That small shift made all the difference. Your mind is your most powerful tool, but only if it's running the right programs. Pay attention to the thoughts that hold you back, and don't be afraid to rewrite them. You have the power to change the way you think, and when you do, you'll see your entire world start to shift. It's not an overnight process, but it's worth it. Every time you challenge a limiting belief, you get closer to the person you want to be. The code you run in your mind determines the life you create, so make sure it's working in your favor. Dissatisfaction isn't a bad thing, it's a signal. It's your mind telling you that you're ready for more. When I started Alibaba, I wasn't satisfied with the opportunities available to small businesses in China. I saw how hard it was for them to compete with larger companies, and that dissatisfaction drove me to take action. You see, dissatisfaction is the spark that ignites change. When you feel uncomfortable or frustrated, it's not a sign of failure, it's a sign that you're capable of growth. I've always believed that great achievements come from refusing to accept the status quo. If I had been content with the way things were, Alibaba wouldn't exist today. The key is to channel your dissatisfaction into action. Instead of complaining about what's wrong, focus on how you can make it better. That's what I did when I realized the internet could empower small businesses. I didn't wait for someone else to solve the problem. I decided to be the one to do it. Dissatisfaction isn't something to fear or avoid. It's a gift. It's what pushes you to grow, to improve, and to create. Without it, we would never strive for anything better. So the next time you feel frustrated, ask yourself, what is this feeling trying to tell me? Remember, discomfort is just the beginning. It's up to you to turn it into something powerful. And when you do, you'll see that the life you want is closer than you think. I often tell people, potential is not something to guard, it's something to use. Too many people treat their potential like a treasure they're saving for the perfect moment. But let me tell you, potential that isn't activated is wasted. It's like a seed left in a box. It will never grow unless you plant it, nurture it, and let it face the elements. When we started Alibaba, none of us had experience running a business like this. We didn't know if we'd succeed, but we knew one thing. Our potential didn't mean anything if we didn't act on it. So we took small steps. We didn't wait for the perfect conditions because we knew they would never come. Instead, we used what we had and trusted that our potential would grow with action. Every day you hesitate, you're leaving something valuable on the table. Your potential isn't infinite, it diminishes with inaction. The more you wait, the harder it becomes to unlock what's inside you. On the other hand, every small step you take strengthens your skills, sharpens your mind, and builds your momentum. It's like compounding interest. The earlier you start, the more it grows. Think of potential as an investment. You don't protect it by holding on to it. You grow it by putting it to work. It doesn't matter how small your first step is. What matters is that you take it. The results will come not from perfection, but from persistence. Every action you take today is a deposit into the life you want tomorrow. So don't be a caretaker of your potential. Be an investor. Take risks, make mistakes, and learn as you go. The power of potential is only realized when it's activated, and the only person who can do that is you. I used to believe, like many people, that I needed a sign to start something big. But if I had waited for the perfect moment, Alibaba would have never existed. Waiting is a trap. It feels safe, but it's one of the most dangerous things you can do. Every second you spend waiting, you lose opportunities that could change your life. When we launched Alibaba, we had every excuse to delay. No funding, no experience, no certainty. But we understood something important. Action creates momentum. Even if you don't have everything figured out, taking the first step opens doors you didn't know were there. We decided to act, and that decision made all the difference. Life rewards those who move forward. It's like driving in the fog. You can only see a few feet ahead, but as you keep moving, more of the road becomes clear. If you stand still, you'll never see beyond the fog. This is why waiting for clarity is a mistake. Clarity doesn't come before action. It comes because of it. The truth is, you already have everything you need to take the first step. Waiting won't give you more confidence, more skills, or more resources. It will only give you more regret. Every action, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goals, and every moment of inaction pushes them further away. If you're waiting for a sign, let this be it. Don't let hesitation steal your potential. Start now, and trust that the path will reveal itself as you walk it. The sooner you begin, the sooner you'll see just how far you can go. I've always believed that urgency is a superpower. When you act with urgency, you tap into a level of focus and energy that can achieve extraordinary things. The difference between success and failure is often timing. And the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is just 1 degree of extra effort. I remember the early days of Alibaba, when we had to move quickly to stay ahead of the competition. There was no time to waste. Every decision we made had to count because we knew the market wouldn't wait for us to be ready. Urgency was our greatest ally. It forced us to act decisively and to prioritize what truly mattered. Urgency isn't about rushing. It's about recognizing the value of time. It's about understanding that opportunities don't last forever. When you act with urgency, you create momentum. And momentum, once it starts, is incredibly powerful. It carries you forward even when the road gets tough. I often tell people, the difference between hot water and steam is just 1 degree. That extra effort, that sense of urgency, is what turns potential into reality. Without it, you're just waiting for life to happen to you. With it, you take control of your destiny. The time to act is now. Not tomorrow, not someday, now. Because the longer you wait, the harder it becomes to catch up. Urgency doesn't just move you forward, it separates you from everyone else who's still waiting for the perfect moment. One of the most important lessons I've learned is that you don't need to see the whole road to start walking. Clarity doesn't come before action, it comes because of it. Life is like driving at night. Your headlights only show you a few meters ahead, but that's enough to keep moving. When we started Alibaba, we didn't know how big it could become. We didn't have all the answers, and we faced challenges that seemed insurmountable, but we kept moving. And with every step we took, the path became clearer. The opportunities we couldn't see from the beginning started to reveal themselves as we went forward. The biggest mistake people make is waiting for certainty. They want to have everything figured out before they start. But the truth is, certainty is a myth. No one knows exactly how things will turn out. What separates successful people is their willingness to take the first step, even when the outcome is unclear. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates opportunities. Every step you take builds your confidence and reveals the next step. It's a process of discovery, and the only way to experience it is to start moving. So, don't wait for the perfect plan. Take the first step, no matter how small it seems. Trust that the road will appear as you walk it. And remember, the destination will always be there, waiting for those who keep moving forward. I believe everyone has something unique to offer the world. Someone out there is waiting for the value only you can provide, but they'll never receive it if you hesitate. Purpose isn't something you find, it's something you create through action. My purpose became clear when I saw how difficult it was for small businesses to succeed in a global economy. I wanted to change that. I didn't know how at first, but I acted on my vision. Step by step, Alibaba became the platform that empowered millions of entrepreneurs. That purpose drove everything we did. When you hesitate, it's not just your life that's affected. It's the lives of the people you could help. Your purpose isn't about you. It's about the impact you can make on others. And the world is waiting for you to step into it. Don't let fear or uncertainty hold you back. Your purpose doesn't require perfection, it requires action. The people who need you aren't looking for someone flawless. They're looking for someone willing to try. Your purpose is waiting. The only question is, will you answer the call?
In a recent presentation that left the audience captivated, Jack Ma, the visionary co-founder of Alibaba, shared a powerful perspective on how a single habit has the potential to completely transform one's life in just 30 days. Known for his charismatic style and thought-provoking insights, Jack Ma didn't hold back in illustrating how his own life was shaped by seemingly small decisions that compounded into monumental success. From waking up before dawn as a young boy to practice English with tourists to launching a global e-commerce empire with no money, no experience, and no connections, his story is a testament to the power of choice, action, and mindset. Jack Ma's lessons are not just theoretical. They're deeply rooted in his personal journey. He emphasized how one decision can lead to a ripple effect, creating opportunities you never imagined. Whether it's challenging the mental prisons we build for ourselves, breaking free from procrastination, or harnessing the present moment to build momentum, his advice resonates with anyone seeking to unlock their full potential. Jack Ma often likens human potential to water. Stagnant water becomes polluted, but flowing water transforms landscapes. This metaphor perfectly captures the essence of the law of motion. When you move, opportunities begin to appear. Jack's life is a testament to this principle. Whether it was his early days learning English or the relentless pursuit of his entrepreneurial dream, his progress was fueled by action. The perfect moment doesn't exist, Jack Ma says, but the present is your best opportunity. This belief is at the core of his philosophy. Too often, people wait for the stars to align or for conditions to improve before taking action. Jack's story reminds us that life rewards those who move forward, not those who wait. When Jack first started Alibaba, he wasn't ready. He had no money, no experience, and no connections. But he had an unshakable belief that the right time to start was now. If you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself, he says, emphasizing the importance of adaptability and action over perfection. Taking action in the present moment isn't about being fearless. It's about acting despite the fear. Jack often shares how terrified he was when pitching Alibaba to investors or expanding into global markets. But he knew that hesitation would cost him more than failure ever could. Courage, he discovered, is built through action, not before it. Inaction comes at a price, and it's often far greater than the risks of trying. Jack Ma frequently warns of this cost, saying, "Regret is more painful than failure." When we delay our dreams, we don't just lose time, we lose opportunities, growth, and the chance to create something meaningful. Procrastination, Jack says, is a form of slow failure. It's the act of choosing not to try over and over again until the chance is gone. Each day we delay, the price of our inaction grows. The lesson here is clear. The cost of staying still is far greater than the cost of taking a leap. Jack Ma believes that potential is not something to be safeguarded, but something to be invested in. We are not caretakers of our potential. We are investors, he often says, emphasizing the importance of taking deliberate action to nurture and grow our abilities. Each day of inaction is a day where untapped potential goes to waste. From his earliest days, Jack understood the value of taking small, consistent steps. He didn't wait for the perfect conditions to launch Alibaba. Instead, he gathered a team of 18 people in his apartment and started with what they had. Their collective potential, though untested, was the foundation of something extraordinary. This small beginning underscores a vital lesson. Potential grows through action, not preservation. Activating potential requires viewing it as a resource. Like a seed, it must be cultivated, watered, and exposed to challenges to flourish. Jack frequently reminds people that even the smallest efforts accumulate over time. The key is to focus on progress rather than perfection. Every action, no matter how insignificant it seems, is an investment in your future self. Many of us fall into the trap of underestimating our potential, waiting for a sign or validation before taking action. Jack's story serves as a reminder that the validation comes from within. By acting on what you have now, you unlock possibilities that were previously hidden. Each step forward reveals new paths and strengthens your belief in what you can achieve. The most significant transformation occurs not when you realize your potential, but when you decide to act on it. Jack's journey illustrates that potential, like any other resource, is finite if left unused. The question isn't whether you have potential, it's whether you'll choose to activate it. Waiting for the perfect moment is one of the greatest traps we set for ourselves. Jack Ma challenges this mindset, encouraging people to stop waiting for external circumstances to change. You already have what you need to act, he insists. The power lies not in the moment, but in the willingness to move forward. The fear of failure is one of the main reasons people hesitate. Jack's perspective flips this fear on its head. He believes that failure is not the enemy of progress. Inactivity is. Every step, even if it leads to a setback, brings you closer to your goals. Waiting, on the other hand, keeps you stuck in place. The truth is, there's no better time to start than now. Each day you wait, the opportunity becomes harder to seize. By transforming waiting into action, you begin a journey of growth and discovery. Jack's life is proof that the greatest successes are built not on perfect conditions, but on imperfect actions taken with purpose. Jack Ma believes that each of us has something unique to offer the world. Someone out there needs what only you can provide, he says. This idea has been a driving force behind his work, from empowering small businesses through Alibaba to inspiring individuals to discover their own potential. Purpose isn't something you find, it's something you create. For Jack, his purpose became clear when he saw how the internet could transform opportunities for small businesses. By acting on this vision, he not only changed his life, but also the lives of millions. Your purpose, too, is waiting for you to take that first step. Many people hesitate, thinking they need all the answers before pursuing their purpose. Jack's story proves otherwise. He started Alibaba with more questions than answers, but his belief in the mission kept him moving forward. Purpose doesn't require perfection, it requires action. Discovering your purpose is about listening to what drives you and acting on it. Jack often reminds people that their hesitation doesn't just affect them. It impacts everyone who could benefit from their work. The world is waiting for you to step into your potential. The choice is yours. Will you answer the call of your purpose, or will you let it pass by? As Jack's journey shows, the rewards of pursuing your purpose are far greater than the risks of trying. Now that you've explored Jack Ma's transformative insights, the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Each story and principle shared wasn't just to inspire you, but to show you that life's greatest changes start with a single decision. Whether it's breaking free from procrastination, rewriting your mental code, or embracing the urgency of the moment, the tools to transform your life are already in your hands. Think about it. What's one habit or small step you can start today? As Jack Ma reminded us, inaction comes at a cost, and the price of waiting is far greater than the risk of trying. Success isn't about perfection or luck. It's about movement, purpose, and persistence. The time to act is now. What resonated with you the most? Was it the story of Forrest Gump's unexpected triumph, or Jack's unrelenting faith in his team despite countless failures? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your perspective might inspire someone else to take their first step. And remember, every time you need motivation or clarity, this video is here for you. Don't let this be the end of your journey. Make it the beginning. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to keep learning, growing, and transforming. And don't miss our next video, Jack Ma's advice to young people. Reprogram your mind to win, where we'll dive even deeper into strategies to unlock your full potential. Let's keep moving forward together.